is something that the viewers don't see of MasterChef that you can tell us?
That contract signed and gone. They make you look better than you are at the start. Really yummy. And also bad.
Whole dish lacked the freshness and the elegance that we'd have loved to have seen.
You've been to MasterChef not once, twice.
Yeah.
Was it different the second time?
I was done by that time. I was so exhausted.
What actually goes behind the camera?
So when they do the tastings for, like they taste everyone's dish, you can be staying there for up to 4 hours.
4 hours?
The thing we don't have is like people who are really focusing on cooking vegetables. Future of food is plants.
Yep.
I'm working very heavily into the sustainability, climate change, climate justice.
Do you think the plant-based scene in Australia is changing?
It is changing. I really think in fairness it should stop talking about it being vegan and just start celebrating the fact that it's vegetables.
Last question is why you cooked your naked broccoli dish.
Oh.
Welcome to another episode of Australia Unfiltered, where we have candid and insightful conversations with people living in Australia. You're gonna love today's episode like crazy. But before we get ahead, I would love to thank our sponsors. First of all, Anchor Cookie Co for treating all our guests with their amazing cookies. You should try one. And Dropout Chaiwala, who fuel us during the podcast with their amazing food and drinks. Obviously, you are looking at the space, that is Aussie's group. Without them, this podcast wouldn't be possible. Oh, how can I forget? Most importantly, you guys. You guys are who make it possible, because without your support, we wouldn't be able to run this. So do not forget to subscribe to our channel. I am so excited and I'm screaming from within because we have another ex-Master of Australia contestant. It is Simon Toohey. Simon Toohey is, I'd call him a Master of Australia veteran, and he is also well known for his plant-based cooking and promoting plant-based cooking, and the way he is so passionate about cooking and plant-based cooking. It's one to watch out, and he is one who did not stop on the secrets about what happens behind the scenes of Master of Australia. So stay tuned and let's start talking to Simon Toohey. Welcome to Australia Unfiltered, Simon. It's like having a legend of Master of Australia in the studio today. I feel honored.
Thank you. And I'm honored you asked me, so thank you very, very much.
Thank you for coming all the way from Geelong.
The deep parts of Victoria, Geelong, you know? But it's right. In fact, the train broke down. So if it hadn't broken down, it would have been a lot faster. We would have got here on time.
It's a usual thing. I used to travel to Geelong so often, so I
Yeah.
can let you know. And Wyndham Vale is the spot where it breaks down.
Always. It was there today as well.
Yes.
Outrageous.
Anyway, while we're meeting here, let's get on.
Yeah. Don't tell PTV or the conversation is about Victorian travel.
Yeah,
Let's move
Victoria
on.
Travel's amazing. Go Victoria
Yeah, that's
Travel.
right.
Anyway, I'm so sure you've been interviewed by so many people, but today why I have you is to know why you cooked your naked broccoli dinner. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, what a time. I'll never live that down. I think because I got into MasterChef on a broccoli dish.
Yes.
And then I got out on MasterChef on a broccoli dish. So I think I need to get a tattoo of some form of broccoli.
I think you should get the naked broccoli. I think that's
Yeah.
iconic.
Yeah.
Even though you got eliminated, it
Yeah.
has some iconic relevance that
I know.
everyone knows about it.
Alright, I wish they didn't. But hey, you got to go out with a bang, right? Or a fizz.
Yes.
Or a big plummet.
Yes. I think everyone was like, whoa, what is this dish? And then,
Yeah.
did you expect, anyway, I
had a vision of what it would look like.
Okay.
But obviously I didn't make it properly. And I think when you look at photos or other people doing it, it looks really, really good. But then when you look at it at your own plate, you're like, that just looks... And I just knew that when I was going to serve it up, it was going to be rubbish. And then I undercooked the florets and said that was grainy. And I overcooked the thing and that was mushy. And it was just one of those days where everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
And if I'd spent some time on it and really worked through it and practiced making that dish, it could have been great.
Yeah.
But I made it once before. It was okay then. It was even worse now. So the pressures of 20 cameras on you,
Yep.
and a whole bunch of microphones and a whole bunch of people watching you, and then they throw out the questions that really throw you away as well.
Yep.
So all in all, it was just a disaster.
Did you try redeeming yourself after, just at home and trying to,
No.
make the dish? But no?
No, definitely not. I threw it against the wall. Yeah, that wasn't going to come back up ever again. I mean, mate, if I ever opened a restaurant, I'd probably play it again just for a bit of fun.
You have to do that.
Yeah.
Dish, yeah.
But it's been so long. Like, I know it sits really fresh in a lot of people's minds who love MasterChef and who love food, but it's been so long, really, like 5 years since it's been.
Yep.
That it's kind of like if I did it at a restaurant, no one's really going to know the reference. Only a few people might.
Okay.
Maybe?
I'm a big MasterChef fan, so probably I know about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. 7 or 8 million people in India know about it as well. So when I go over there, they go, "So how was that broccoli dish?" Like, no, it's travelled with me to another country because
That is-
broccoli isn't very common in India either. So
Now it's getting common.
Yeah, right.
But before 5 years ago, it wasn't common.
no, that's right. You had cauliflower as a major.
Yeah, cauliflower is
Yeah.
major. It's easily available, easily
Yeah.
grown.
Yeah.
So I know it's put in every dish.
Yeah, that's right. I love cauliflower over there. It's good.
Yeah.
So delicious. You do great things.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I actually want to know, did you always cook before MasterChef, or what inspired you to cook?
My mum was an amazing cook.
Okay.
So I think that really is, I remember I tell this story actually quite often when people ask me about it. It's like I went into MasterChef and I was, my story was, I don't really have a food story because I didn't sit below a table while my nonna was making fresh pasta and feeding me fresh pasta, or I wasn't grown up in India where food is just life, right? Like
Yeah, true. It's not a
the
meal, it's
beating
tradition.
heart. That's right.
Yeah.
It's the beating heart of a culture. And Australia doesn't really have a food culture, in inverted commas. It's a melting pot, and I hate that term, but it is a big, drawn
It is.
love and hug of everyone around us, right?
Yep, true.
So I sort of was like, oh, I haven't got a food story. But once I was in the show, and then once I kind of left the show, I was like, actually, I do. My mum was a phenomenal cook, is a phenomenal cook, right?
Yep.
So she'd cook Indian for us for weeks and weeks. She'd cook Thai, she'd cook Italian, she'd cook any cuisine from around the world
Yep.
and play it around like that. And I just didn't realize how lucky we were until I started talking to other people about what they used to eat growing up. And the whole Australian meat and 3 veg was basically the term, right?
Yep.
So we got to try all this beautiful food growing up. We'd have beautiful prawn laksas, and we'd have beautiful Thai green curries and red curries, and we'd have beautiful somtams, and we'd have wonderful sort of Indian gravy-based curries as well, which is just beautiful. And it's just so, so good. So that's where I think my love of food came.
Okay.
And
But
so-
did you cook back then with your mum and things like that?
No, I was I think I was a bit too cool for it. I was a bit of a young kid, but I played a lot of sports, so I spent most of my time in the park or in
Okay.
the garden or at training, doing sports training.
got it.
Right? So I never really did, but there was a few occasions where I tried stuff while she was away and failed miserably, but it was still a thing. And then when they moved out on me, so how usually a lot of the time kids move out when they go to uni, well, they left me behind and I had to go find a place to live and stuff like that. And I learned how to cook then. And I would take on all the recipes that mum and dad, or mum used to cook. Dad was a good cook too, but he was always meat and 3 veg. And roasts and all those Sunday roasts and roast chickens. And he was an amazing sweet baker too. So he'd make beautiful cookies and cakes and slices and stuff, right? So really
lovely.
cool. Yeah. But when I moved out, or when they moved out of me and I had to find a place, I drew on all of the memories of the food that mum used to cook, and I took those to myself and I would just start.
Yep.
And then I started working in hospitality. Well, I started working in hospitality on my license. I was 15.
Yep.
But then I had to, I was working in hospitality, and then I started working in cocktail bars. And that transition of like flavors from solids to liquids and just like making ingredients sing was kind of the idea of it. And so that gave me confidence to cook more at home.
Yeah.
And I also ate at more restaurants because hospitality is all about eating out as well and knowing friends and seeing different places. So that would come back home. And that kind of slowly built its way up into...
Then how did you know that, you were slowly building, but then how did you know that now you can audition for MasterChef Australia?
Well, it was kind of... So there's a photo on my Facebook. I don't really use Facebook anymore, but...
Who uses Facebook?
I know. It's true. I do go back and see the odd... to go back and check the old photos, the history photos, right? And also for Facebook Marketplace. But there's a photo of me on season 2 of MasterChef at home in our place in Byron. They made a pavlova, and all of them, like a lot of them failed miserably. How hard is it to make a pavlova? And we were watching MasterChef in those days. So I can't remember when season 2 was, 15 years ago or whatever.
Oh, wow.
I think we're at season 15 now, or 17 or whatever.
Yep.
And so I went up to the kitchen and I made a pavlova. And I was like, I want to be on MasterChef. I could bloody win this, no problems. And then fast forward to 2019 when I was on it. I can't even remember, 2019.
Yep.
My now wife, who was my partner then, she said, I kind of wanted to apply and just like sit down and fill in the form, like stop faffing about, that term, faffing about, just like stop being stupid and fill it out. And I did. And so I sat down there and I filled the form out, and it was, I don't know if Sandeep told you, but
it's a massive
form. I just thought it was fill your name and date and email and home address and let me know you're okay, but it wasn't. It's like, what's your deepest fear? What's your biggest food, revolution? What's the biggest memory of this sort of thing? I was like, geez Louise. And so I put all that out. And
how much time did it take to fill it?
Weeks.
Weeks?
Yeah, weeks. Because it wasn't like in one session. So it was kind of like blocks. So I did like a few days here, a couple of days there, and then at the end of it, I sent it in, right? But
Did you expect to get a response?
no, I didn't. It was. This is not. Yeah, no, not at all. I think it was like, there's no way they're going to sort of choose someone like me. And I think the biggest fear as well, and what most people who have been on MasterChef will say to those who want to try out for MasterChef, who say, "Oh, I'm not good enough cook." No one was a good enough cook. They, not to give away secrets, but they make you look better than you are at the start. And also bad. When you do real badly, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, you're as good as everyone thinks you are. And no one ever remembers how good you or bad you were at the start.
Yeah, true.
And the majority of people are still trying to learn how to cook, and they just learn cooking what they know at home. And that's fine.
Yeah.
But then you really study and you practice and you're surrounded by food and people and greatness.
Yeah, I remember Sandeep telling me that when you used to live together, you'll had huge fridge, like fridges, not fridge, and you could just cook anything, and you would keep on cooking together or trying different things.
Yeah, get ready to eat like royalty. Like you want lobster for breakfast, you can have lobster for breakfast. You want to have sushi grade tuna for lunch and dinner, you can have that. You can, you want truffles? Sure, why not? You can have truffles. You want caviar? You can have caviar. And then you leave the show.
And you're like, what is my fridge?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So beans on toast today, is it? Yes, beans on toast it is again today. Yep, that's it. And that's literally what it's like. So the thing I think that definitely Sandeep, because we chat about it all the time, we used to. But the thing that I love most about it is that him and I never, and a few of us never really took it for granted. We frothed it a lot, and we took it all under our wing, and I got to taste all the amazing food that Sandeep used to. I don't know why we're choosing about Sandeep, but I think because he was everyone. So we get to choose and pick and eat the food that I love, and because it's such a multicultural show, I've got Egyptian, I've got Vietnamese, I've got Malaysian, I've got Indian, I've got Sri Lankan, I've got all these sorts of things that everyone cooks what their mum or grandparents or parents used to cook. Yeah. And I get to try it.
Yeah.
The white Anglo-Saxon guy who just, steak, meat and 3 veg, I get to taste the world,
Yes. But then you also had your mum made sure that you tried everything.
Absolutely.
Obviously, flavors differ in each person's hand.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. You knew you were, I'd say you were acquainted with the flavors before. It wasn't the first time you were trying it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Indian cuisine is probably our number one at home.
Okay.
We cook it.
It's actually the easiest to cook. People think it's complicated. I believe it's the easiest to cook.
Of course it is. But the only problem that people fear for is that when you have... Because it's really hard for Indian recipes to not have this many ingredients. Yeah. But what people got to understand, it's just spoon. Once you've got it all, it's just a spoon. And it's not always that big. It can be really, really short, of course. But a spoon of cumin, a spoon of garam masala, a spoon of coriander seeds, a spoon of fennel. It might have fennel in this one, but it might have caraway in this one. Yeah. It might have no cumin here. It might have ginger in this one, but it might have garlic in this one.
Yeah,
so
true.
It's this playing of flavors, and once you get confident, it's really actually very, very easy.
Yeah,
it's a very easy cuisine to follow along. It's just a few key ingredients: tomatoes, onions, and a couple of spices, and you're ready to rock and roll.
That's what we have back home as well, and then we just mix everything, and it tastes a little different, but it's the same at the end of the day.
The ratios are different, but there's a lot of similarity.
Yes, for sure.
Which I love.
Yeah, true. It makes life so much easier.
So much easier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, getting back to you.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. No, sorry. It's both of us. Both of us love talking, and we just go from here.
Yeah.
We're like, oops.
Yeah, that's right.
That's fine. But I actually, what was going on? What went on through your mind when you first entered through those, those magical doors of MasterChef Australia? You got through the audition, but the first time when you went, you're like, damn.
Yeah. Are you talking post my apron, after
post
I got
your
my
apron?
Okay.
Post your apron. When you enter the main kitchen with all the contestants, when we see as people watchers, we see them running and screaming.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Because we had the old format too, which is the running and screaming, right?
Yes.
We were the last of the old format, I think. What was it like? It was just, I mean, look, everyone says it and it's very cliche, but it was so surreal. It was, because, the funny thing about this, actually, here's a cool story I just realised, and you're bringing up a lot of memories here, it's fantastic. It's a sign of a good interview. But I went into that MasterChef kitchen 2 weeks beforehand for the first time.
Okay.
I didn't even know it was filmed in Australia. I didn't know it was filmed in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So I went in, I was out doing a Mr. Black, which is a coffee liqueur made in Sydney. I was the Australian ambassador for Mr. Black. It was the job I was doing before I got into MasterChef. It's just an alcohol company. It's the little shout out to Mr. Black. But it's delicious liquid. Anyway, I was doing, I think it was the Easter show, Melbourne Easter show, or the Melbourne show, which is at the showgrounds, right? Obviously, it's the show. And someone said, the MasterChef studio's here. I was like, no. They're like, yeah, it's just down there. You can walk into it. And I was like, no way. So I closed the shop. I told someone to look after the shop.
Yeah.
And I walked down to the MasterChef, a big MasterChef sign, and the garden wasn't there, but it was that car park sort of thing.
Yep.
And I walked through the doors, and I'm like, I'm going to be in here. This is where I want to be. Like this,
Wow.
I'm going to apply. And I think at that time I was applying for it.
Okay.
Or I had applied, and I was going in and I saw the gantry, which I always knew from the filming. I saw the big space without. I saw the wooden floors that are so synonymous for that sort of place.
Yep.
And I was like, this is where I'm going to be. And sure enough, a few weeks later, I was there, in it. So I was like, this is fantastic. This is really, really fantastic. Wow. But the sports brain in me, my sports player in me, and my competitive side was like, I'm going to win this. Like, that's my choice.
Yep.
So that was kind of it. I don't remember much other than how am I going to win this? What does it look like? Let's be calm and be strong under pressure.
Yep.
And that sort of stuff.
No. So you manifested it. I'll say that.
I think so. I really think so. Yeah. I never wanted to be a pinch me moment and realize how beautiful this is and take every moment as it comes and all the cliched words you get from something that's so once in a lifetime, twice in a lifetime kind of thing.
Yes,
right?
for you.
So I never wanted to let that go.
Yes.
But I knew that it was a TV show.
Yes.
And I needed to focus on the fact it was a TV show. And so my skills were kind of irrelevant in a way.
Yes.
Like I needed to be a good cook. I needed to do all the things that MasterChef expects of you. But at the end, it's a TV show. So what do I need to do? I need to focus. I need to put a TV or a sports brain on. And I need to win.
Okay, wow. You were very focused.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask this one question because you said it. Do people actually scream when they enter? This is not a part of my list. When they're entering, because we hear
people scream?
Yeah, the people scream. Are people actually screaming?
They make you scream.
They make you scream.
Like the people running in or
yes,
the people watching
running
you?
in.
Oh, yeah.
When you
they
enter
kind of do. Like it's all a bit dramatized.
Yeah.
In a beautiful way.
I love the drama.
Of course. That's why it's done, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And don't get us wrong, the crying is the part that draws people in too, and there's a lot of crying, but also it's a very stressful time.
Yeah.
And people have children at home, and people have work and jobs at home, and people have a whole bunch of stuff going on at home, and now they're in a house where they're filming for 12 hours a day and sleeping away from home in bunk beds or in a hotel room, and it's an emotion, it's a heightened emotion. So you just release that. And the screaming thing is a thing they ask you to do because they want it to feel powerful. And internally, I'm not a yeller or a screamer. I'm not that kind of wee kind of person. And if you are, beautiful. So be it. That's great. So I think my internal screaming was happening. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
It is crazy.
But I'm not really going to be yelling it out. Hence why I was always in the background of the filming world. It's because I didn't have that crazy scream going on all the time.
But you were there for a
for
while.
the whole time. 8 months.
Yeah, it was a while, and you were third, the third last to get out, right?
Yeah, that's right.
In season 11.
Yeah, I call it second of the losers. Yeah. But because first of the losers are second, and second of the losers are third. I was done by that time. I was so exhausted.
It is exhausting. You're cooking, and I'm like, how are these machines cooking for so many people?
I know.
It's massive. But anyway, what actually goes behind the camera?
What goes on behind the camera? As in at the home?
Not at the home. Like when you're cooking out there, there's so much. Like I know we're just doing a small podcast here, but that is humongous. There's so sure.
Yeah.
What goes on for you? Had you ever been in front of the camera before MasterChef?
Yeah, I mean, so the funny thing about this as well is that I've always wanted to do what I'm doing now.
Okay.
Which is great.
Okay.
I started trying to do TV shows and write shows when I was 17, 18, 19, working in bars.
Okay.
And I wanted to do TV shows about alcohol and the history of spirits and cocktails and all this sort of background knowledge. It's not really very interesting now, but that's what I wanted to do. And I always wanted to be in media or something like that. The best thing about MasterChef, what it did is just fast forwarded that. So I was going to get there at some stage. Maybe I wasn't. Maybe I was going to never get there. But MasterChef allowed me to be where I am now. So, which was a really great thing. So I've always wanted to be on screen. I've done a few YouTube stuff way back. I filmed with Dilma in Sri Lanka when I was living in London. So I went over to Sri Lanka and did a big video there and did some stuff with cocktails and tea. So I'm familiar with it. And also, when you're in hospitality, you're serving a customer in a bar. You're talking to them to make them feel welcome and loved.
Yeah.
You're asking what they want to drink because you're making cocktails, and at the same time, you're making drinks and making sure the staff are happy as well.
Yeah,
so
true. Hospitality is a lot about communication and making sure they're fine, you're fine, even if you've had a shit day or the worst day in life. You can't be crying out there and then serving.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
and that's why so many actors are in hospitality, because they get to practice their arts, right, whilst they're working, and they get paid for it. So if they're not working in TV or movies or anything or screen or stage, they work in hospitality, so they can practice all their things with other people.
Wow, that's a great way to look at it. I never thought that was like the other way to look at working in hospitality.
Yeah. It's
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What is one dish that you are proud of that you made in MasterChef? Could be season 11, could be season 12.
Oh my God, I wouldn't say there's so many that I was proud of. I mean, something as simple as the chip buddy is something that I had when I served up to Jock, who's Scottish, and that was one of the biggest, the British sort of like peasantry food is chips in a piece of white bread, right? Like that's good fun. I did that chamushi for the Queen.
Queen?
The Queen cook from the UK. Come on, Simon. Long hair, dark hair, does all the cooking. Great TV show, cooking show. Thank you. Nige.
Who called microwave? Who says microwave instead of
Yeah.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. She's really pretty.
Oh,
She looks like
amazing.
a goddess. I know who you're talking about.
Oh my God, what's wrong with us?
I'll tell you. I need to Google this. I will use my phone. I'm going to write chef who says microwave.
Everyone who's watching is like yelling at the screen right now or yelling at the radio being like, it's this person.
Nigella Lawson.
No, Nigella. Yeah.
Yes,
That's it. That's it. So doing a chamushi for Nigella was pretty amazing.
Oh, I'd be ecstatic at like if Nigella would be in front of me. I'd be like, I feel there's an aura that comes behind her.
Yeah.
It just, she's godly.
She's a phenomenal human being. And the thing I love about her as well is she's powerful. Like, she knows what she wants. If the thing wasn't good that she was prepping or making, it's not good. Make it better. And you're like, perfect, great. Do you tell me what you want? And that's fantastic. And she exudes brilliance.
Yeah, I can feel it through the TV.
She's a home cook, but she's the best home cook. Like, she's so good.
I could.
I trust her, you know what I mean? Like, I look at her, go, I trust your recipes.
She makes on screen, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe I'll just eat it, whatever you say. Even though the recipe might say different than what you're actually doing.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll do it. She's a sensation.
Yeah.
Even Simon, for you, you've been to MasterChef not once, twice.
Yeah.
Was it different the second time?
It was back to back, so it felt like I hadn't left.
Yes, and you said the first time was intense, right?
So intense.
Yeah.
And I was exhausted, and I'd kind of exhausted all of my creativity in my brain.
You have to think each time what to cook new. How do you think how to cook new?
Yeah, that's right. You've got to have something going on there, and hopefully it works out, really. And sometimes you just do elements and hope that works out. But yeah, so I went straight away back into it. I think it was a 3-month break, if that. And so I just felt like I was still exhausted by the time I went back in there. So I was like, oh, hi, I recognize all this. I haven't left. It was really great having really cool new people to hang out with. Like Callum and I are best mates now. Poe and I are really great friends. Like all the teams on there. Sarah,
you know a secret? I think Poe lives in my building. I saw her in my lift.
Oh, no way.
And then I was like, should I say you Poe? Because I wasn't sure. Like, I didn't want to be like misjudging anyone.
Well, tell her you just interviewed Simon next time you see her.
The thing is, I live on the first floor, so I don't end up meeting anyone.
Long enough.
It's not a long journey that
I
cross anyone's path. I've just met her once. So I think maybe she's one of the flats that she stays.
Because she stays here whilst they're filming. So they'll be here right now if she's here.
Probably. I should just stand outside the lift and I'm like, hey, Poe. But I asked her, I'm like, hey, are you Poe? She's like, yes, I am Poe. I was like, oh my God, I'm a big fan. And I'm like, what are you doing here? I didn't know what to say.
And then the door's open, you have to leave anyway. So
but I stayed. I was like, she's like, I live here. I was like, oh, nice. And then I was like, bye, have a nice day. I had to leave. I
Good conversations.
What else can I say?
That's right, yeah, it's not much else.
Ground floor, first floor. And we get in the lift from the ground floor. And she was already in the lift. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, would it be weird? Like, if I tell someone that, are you this? It was so awkward. But I would, if I meet her now, I'd be so much more easier.
Yeah,
but then I wasn't sure. That was my only concern. So
also, you've interviewed MasterChef people, so that's there's common reference there. Just say you have a podcast.
Yeah, but I like worship Poe. Like she's like a person who I've seen, and I'm like, when she made that lychee cake, I was like, this woman is crazy.
I know.
I was like, is it coming out or not coming out? It was intense.
She plays it very well, old Poe.
Yeah.
She's an amazing human being.
Yeah, that's what everyone says that. Whoever I've interviewed from MasterChef, they say the same thing.
Yeah. She is who you see, and she is just the most divine human. Big fan.
And again, I'm going to ask you this. Feel free. But tell me something. What is something that the viewers don't say of MasterChef that you can tell us? I know you guys have NDAs and you can't stuff.
That's that contract signed and gone.
Oh my God, tell me everything.
If they want to get me in trouble, they've got no money to get me from. So anyway, you don't get much time between you don't get actually any time between when they tell you the challenge and when you actually start cooking. It's like 5 minutes. So you actually have to have things in your brain. You don't really get hours. Sometimes they go do a lunch break for team challenges.
Oh, is it?
And so you can plan a little bit and then you come back and you write it all down. It looks like it's all live.
Yeah.
God, they've got to, you're cooking for 100 people. They've got to give us a bit of time to plan, right? That sort of stuff. When you finish cooking, sometimes you go for lunch and so the food just stays there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
There's a lot of standing around. So when they do the tastings for, like, they taste everyone's dish.
Yes.
You can be standing there for up to 4 hours.
4 hours?
It's madness. Every single person gets about 20 minutes of...
20 minutes?
Yeah, of like going up there, doing the tasting, having the conversation, giving the feedback, having a laugh, taking the feedback.
Oh my God, the editing team, hats off to them.
Oh my gosh, it is a beast of a machine, and they do it so well.
Yeah, they do it massively well.
That's why I always focus on the fact it's a TV show before it's a cooking show, because they need to make sure they have that all down pat,
Yeah, but I love it, like, it doesn't feel like, but the dish is cold. I asked Sandeep this as well, like,
yeah.
Hot dishes would be cold.
Yeah.
So do they warm it again? Or?
No, it's just room temperature. But the sauces are kept warm. That's why they always serve the sauce on the side.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
so
makes
that
sense.
at least it's warm. But also don't forget that whilst we're cooking, and this is a big hoo-ha a while ago, where they're like, oh, the chefs walk around and eat all the food before they get judged, and that's how they know. It's like, yeah, actually, of course they do.
Yeah.
Why would you, like, all the judges are going around tasting everyone's food to make sure that they're on the right track, and then they can be like, I like where this is going, this makes sense, this is going to be delicious. If you make 6 dumplings, you better make 8, because you want 2 for them to try when they're hot, so that they don't have them when they're cold and all coagulated in the front of the thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a few different things you can do to help your cause to win.
Yeah.
If you're making noodles or you're making a dish, leave a bit on the side so they can taste every element, so they know what's going on. And when you all leave the kitchen, they go around and can taste the food warm.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Why wouldn't you? Like, it makes sense. They
Yeah.
need it to be fair, so they have to taste it warm.
Yes.
And then, of course, the TV makes it look like it's warm because that's what happens, right?
Yeah, true. I know that.
The other one thing about the dessert, the one thing that a lot of people don't know is about the dessert side of things. So when you see people plating up desserts,
Yeah.
you're like, well, hold on. If they're going to wait hours for that to get tasted, what happens? It's because it's all in the freezer and the camera does a close-up. It gives you 5 minutes, you fix up the desserts and you plate it. It makes it look like it's actually happening at the same time, but it's not. It's just when you're about to serve.
That's such a cheeky.
It's such a cheeky one, but everything's set in the freezer. That's why Poe could take out the lychee cake at the last minute and say, I don't know if it's going to be set, because it's going to be 2 hours until they taste, which means all the steam and all the cooking internally is just going to keep cooking the cake.
Smart.
That's why I love her, because she's so smart about it. You have a cake and you want to cook the whole cake, and everyone's like, oh, we got to get up and get it plated. No, I'm going to serve the whole cake. Why? Why not? Instead of... So she does a whole cake, she takes it out with 2 seconds to go, puts it on the table, done. And now she has 2 hours for it to cool down, set, and keep cooking and cool down and set. So it's great.
Oh,
Genius.
that is genius.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
it just cooks and then it gets to the perfection. And
Yeah.
I remember them... Shit, I thought that they... Like, the minute she got it out and they cut it, and I was like, whoa, what is this? True, if they would cut it immediately, steam should have come out,
That's right.
which didn't come out.
That's right.
Next time I'm going to watch. Though I
hope that doesn't
don't
get me-
watch...
no, it's fine.
I don't watch MasterChef anymore. I used to watch it till when Gary
Yeah,
and
George were there.
They were my favorite for some reason.
they're
I just
so good.
like... They're like... I don't know what they
Well,
had.
I love India as well.
Yeah, that's what they're super famous. They're more famous. They're celebrities in India. That's what I've heard.
I just filmed a show there too, so
Yeah.
it should be coming out. I think it's already come out. I don't know. Anyway, there's a show there of some description.
They keep on doing shows back in India. Like, there's so many MasterChef Australia contestants were celebrities back in India.
Yeah.
Were you a celebrity? You mentioned that you went to India.
Yeah,
How did it feel?
very much. It's great. It's a good time. You feel like you're royalty.
Yes.
More so than here, because I think it's such an unusual thing. And I also, the world sort of puts celebrities as a high regard in people, so it's like, which I don't think they should, to be honest, but that's just the way the world goes.
Yeah.
We always want to be someone else, but
Yeah, true.
but it's lovely. It's really lovely. It's a good place to be. You feel really honoured and everyone's really kind to you, and
Yeah.
it's nice.
I know, it is. I love India. But anyway, whose elimination, was shocked you in season 11, I'm going to say, because that was the longer time that you stayed.
Yeah. Whose elimination shocked me? I'm gonna be bold here and say not me. To be fair, Sandeep's, because it was between him and me, and that's...
I know,
Yeah,
that, yes.
and that was an interesting one,
And you also messed up that day, right?
oh my God, so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. I reckon I probably should have gone home, but Sandeep, definitely. And probably Christina, who was near the end, who again, I cooked in every elimination, by the way. That's why it's quite, it's
For you,
whose elimination was the worst? Well, the one that the 10 or 20 that I did, right? Christina got kicked out.
So much pressure cooking in every elimination.
Yeah,
That's so stressful.
Yeah, but it's mad. I cooked the most out of anyone in the competition.
Oh wow. Then you have to think each time what to cook, how to cook,
Yeah.
make sure it's nice.
Yeah.
And then you were also, I think in season 11, you're also figuring what your take on food was, like which side you were going
Yeah,
to.
that's right. Like, it was always going down the plant-based world. Like, it's not really plant-based. It's just focusing on vegetables. Like, I just think
Yes.
we have butchers, we have fishmongers, we have cheesemongers, we have delis, we have cured meats, people who are really good at curing things and fermentation. The thing we don't have is like people who are really focusing on cooking vegetables.
Yep.
And again, we don't have to tell you this because India and vegetables is like two peas in a pod. They're the best friends, right? You
Yep.
know how to cook it. And 51% of Indians are vegetarian or something along the lines. Like, the number's huge, and you're great at creating flavor, right?
Yep.
With plants. In Australia, and the UK, and America, and Canada, and stuff like that, all those sort of white sort of people, it's just meat and 3 veg.
Yep, true.
And it's so boring. And then the microwave came out. And then the microwave is like microwave vegetables, which is just mush, right?
I
And we
can't eat
grew up
those.
with that, right?
Yeah.
So I think I had a real big issue with this. And I was like, look, I want to focus on this and create something really, really cool. Like, I want to create a vegan smokehouse or a plant-based smokehouse that focuses on smoking vegetables. And it's all about the vegetable. It's all about creating good food. I don't want vegans to be coming along. I don't want plant-based people to be coming along. I want everyone to want to eat and go, this is just really good food.
Yep.
So that was my angle.
Okay.
Yeah. So irrelevant of eating meat or not, vegetables was the thing.
And was that angle there before you were in MasterChef, or
Yeah.
did you figure it out at MasterChef?
Well, it was interesting actually. So I put it forward in my proposal or in my application that I wanted to open a plant-based smokehouse, right?
Yep.
After the show, that was kind of like my goal.
Yeah.
But when I got onto the show, I cooked what I was familiar with, which was meat, because I grew up in a meat household. My
Yes.
dad was the head of the meat industry, he was part of the Cattle Council of Australia. He works for a lot of the animal welfare systems and all that sort of stuff. So I grew
Yeah.
up eating a lot of meat, and Mum
Yeah.
was an amazing seafood cook. So that was big for us.
Yeah.
So I just went back and started cooking things that I was familiar with.
Okay.
And they were like, well, hold on, aren't you meant to be doing a vegetable thing? And I was like, yeah, but I'm just really nervous. And they're like, well, you better start, otherwise we're going to kick you out, kind of thing, you know?
Oh.
Okay, so that's when I started to really take on the journey. And when there was protein, and I didn't have to cook the protein, then I wouldn't.
Okay. Yep.
And then if there was protein, I had to cook it, then I cooked the protein, right?
That's what I was gonna ask you. That so many mystery boxes or all these things you have to cook with the protein,
Yeah.
and you have no option.
Yeah, when they do the cook everything protein, then
Yeah.
But I think the best thing about that is leaving the protein behind and cooking with the vegetables.
Yeah, and you're like in the highlight. I remember when you used to do that, and then you've left the protein out.
Yeah.
And you're giving vegetables. You're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
Simon hasn't taken the protein. He's the only one who's like
Yeah.
cooking with just veg.
Yeah, there was one with my brain today. What's her name? She owns Smith and Daughters, Smith and Deli. So sorry for getting your name. Shout out. But uses celeriac and thinly sliced it and made tacos out of that. You know?
Yeah.
Good fun. Like, it's just a different way of taking onto vegetables, which I think is great.
Yeah, it's. Do you learn all these things while you're there, or your
Yeah.
brain, or you both?
You've got to be really open. The problem is with MasterChef is everyone's really closed. And when people go home, there's 2 reasons why people go home. They don't adjust their brain when it
Okay.
comes to the dishes that aren't working. So they
Yeah.
always do that thing where they throw out the judges throw out a word or like or something like, hey, look, you didn't think this is good enough. You feel as though you're missing something. And then they just freeze.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and they're like, fuck, I've got to change. Oh, sorry. They go like, I've got to change this. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to change it. My brain. Clear mind. Clear. So that if you have your vision on something, the judges say that's a bad vision. You're not sticking to what the theme is.
Yeah.
You have to be able to pivot.
Yeah. True.
And if you're too stuck, you're gone.
Yeah.
And
true.
the other one is when you're exhausted and your brain has given up.
Yeah.
When your brain has given up, that is when you're going to go.
Yeah. Okay.
And that you'd find that. So you'll see nearly every single person that went home, they were exhausted by the end of it. You know,
Yeah.
probably the first 10 were fine. Like first 5 were like big, unlucky, and because they're all good cooks.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
But coming later down the show, it's when people started to really get mentally exhausted. It was guaranteed they were going to be going home.
True. And I think you've been on so many eliminations, so you're like an elimination veteran.
Oh,
So
yeah,
you know
yeah.
all of this like really well.
Yeah, I know. And the one I was scared most was the recipes, right? Because my mum cooked with intuition,
Yeah.
and so that's how I learned to cook.
Yeah.
So following a recipe was like, and also, I mean, I read pretty much every night. I go to bed, I read, and I go on holidays, we read. Like, I'm a big reader, but I'm a shit reader. So reading a recipe, I'm like, oh yeah, bored. Read the bottom, you know? Like, if
Yeah.
I'm reading a book I don't love, it's like, first 2 lines, I got the premise, last 2 lines, okay, next page. You know what I mean? So
That's a
the
good way to
recipes
read.
is, yeah, you can really read a lot of books if you do it that way. But I was afraid that's what happened with the recipes, where I'm reading the ingredients, going across to the method, looking at the method, then skipping a line and being like, that was important.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I did, I got good at that too, which was really lucky. I could work on that really, really fast, and I was fast. Yeah.
Oh wow! You had the skills how to master an
Yeah.
elimination and how to read the recipes.
Yeah. I never went out from one of those cooks, which was really, really happy about it. I never wanted to go out from reading a recipe.
Yeah.
And I did that one that went for 3 days. Like I did that loon croissant one.
Oh my god, that was intense.
That was so intense.
You're like, shit, what's gonna happen the next
know.
day? What's gonna happen
Is
the
it going
next
to rise?
day?
And also, you lose sleep constantly because it's so exhausting, right?
Yes.
So I have to have 3 days of lost sleep because of it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That was an intense one.
Intense.
Yeah, but I totally loved it.
Well, Kate and I are great friends now, which is really good. Who owns Loon, right? So
Yes.
Kate and I are really good friends. We catch up for wines and have a good old laugh. So, out of all of that, I made a really good friend. It was perfect.
Worth the 3 days. Yeah. But I love the croissants. Her almond croissant is to die for.
Isn't it just the best?
It is the best. Like it's like it's a meal by itself.
because historically, like almond croissants are really flat and they sort of get baked down and they put all the weight on top and it sort of weighs itself down. Whereas they open it and they do it a really bright and
I
puffy. You
love
don't
it.
stuff around with it, and it's still
Yeah.
got that wonderful texture you would from a regular croissant.
Yeah, people say it's overrated, but I don't care. I love it.
No.
The
My
almond
wife
croiss-
is obsessed with them too.
Yeah.
She's with you. She agrees with you.
Yeah, the almond croissant, no one can beat it. Like, and to be honest, I hate normal butter croissants. But when I tried it, I was like, "Are you serious? This can also taste like something and not just bread."
Yep, that's true. And that's the thing. We're so accustomed to just the generic. Whereas you find someone who is actually perfect at it.
Yeah,
and you
true.
go, oh,
Yeah.
this is what it's meant to be like. And there's so many different occasions where that is, like, for me, really important. So, things like congee. Like, I love, I could
Yeah.
live off that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, just rice porridge. Congee is
Yeah.
one of the greatest things. But I never wanted to have congee until someone who I knew made it really, really well was to make me congee. I wasn't going to go to a shitty little restaurant and be like, I'll
Yeah.
have the congee. No, thanks. I was in Hong Kong, went to one of the oldest congee shops in Hong Kong, had it there. It was as good as I ever wanted it to be in my mind, and it was fantastic.
Yep.
Same with Pabs, or same with kachuri. I got the
Kachori.
I got the letters the wrong way around. It's like kachori.
Kachori.
Yeah. So same with that. Like I
Yeah.
know of it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't until I had it at the streets in India in Jaipur that I was like, this is life. Like
Yeah.
this is so good.
Yeah, true. It's you need to go to the authentic place. It's like I'd say.
Yep.
I don't know if this is the right thing to say, but like a pie, which is Australian
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So then it's like till you don't have the pie in Australia, you wouldn't know what the pie is.
That's
like,
it. No, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I would refuse to touch it until I found the place that was really actually dedicated to this one thing.
True. And I didn't like excuse me, when I came as an international student, so I had a pie at 7-Eleven. I was like, EU, this sucks, never eating it. This is the
Not a good
worst.
starting point, by the way. 7-Eleven pie, I would say, would be great.
I came as a student, so I had meal.
Yeah, it's cool.
But then once I was working at MCG and I'm not supposed to eat, like there are serving out there, but I'm not supposed to eat all of it. But then I was like, I was hungry, okay? So then I had a pie, it was pretty decent. And then I had at a better place and I'm like, actually, this is not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, it's like, I mean, it's like it's the Australian version of a samosa, right? Like, I mean, I know that
It
sounds
is,
really
it
weird,
is,
but
it
it's
is,
it's
it
a puff
is.
pastry, it's a pastry base, and it's stuffed.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
everyone in the world has their own form of dumpling.
Yeah, true. 100%.
Like
yeah.
momos from China and India and Nepal, Tibet as well. Momos.
What is Australia's version of...
Well, a pie. A pie
Oh.
is the Australian version, I would say.
Yeah,
Because it's
kind of.
pastry.
Yep.
I know it's baked as opposed to steamed or fried, but it's pastry, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got, gyoza from Japan, you have xiaolongbao from Shanghai, you have, different dumplings from all over China.
Yep,
So every country, I really believe, has a form of dumpling. It just isn't
Yeah, true.
what we believe it is when we go to Yumcha.
100%. And I feel each country, the food does overlap. It's obviously then they add the
Yeah.
touch of
Yeah.
their own spices, flavors, and
Well, that's what I love about
whatever's available.
momos so much, is because you have this sort of like,
my
you have
weakness.
this Chinese dumpling casing, you have the Indian
Filling.
Nepalese filling, so the beautiful spices, but then you have the Chinese dipping sauce with the importance of tomatoes, which is Indian, right, and Northern Indian, and all across that sort of part. So you have like tomato sauce mixed with, or like tomato paste mixed with soy sauce and black vinegar, which is so totally Chinese, right?
Yes.
I mean, come on, if that's not the best combination of food in the world, I don't know what is. Like, I reckon, you heard it here first, momos are the next boom of food things,
okay.
right?
Wow. Yeah,
You know?
I love momos. They're my weakness. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's
can't.
fine for you. You've had them forever, right? Like, at this world, yeah. They're the best.
I'm waiting for them to like be like
Yeah.
there. People
Yeah.
are like, whoa, where's this food?
Yeah.
In there? And then the momo chutney, as you mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
like the dipping. Oh my god, my mouth is watering. Anyway,
Yeah, moving on.
getting back, both of us are like food people, and we're like, oh, this
yeah.
is so good.
Again, sign of a good interview, and we can just chat.
Yeah.
And it's most exciting for people to watch anyway.
Yeah, good. I hope you guys are enjoying. But anyway, what was life for you after MasterChef?
It was pretty wild. It was really good to go back a second time because it solidified what I wanted to do the first time, right?
Yeah.
So I got to relive that and rebuild that sort of momentum.
Yeah.
And it was with the people who were the most famous in the MasterChef kitchen. And it was the first time it had ever been done. And it was during COVID. So it was like this 3-string factor of bam, right?
Yes.
And then I got the TV show. So I had Freshly Picked, which is on Channel 10
Yep.
and on SBS, right?
Yes.
So I got both channels. So I got to push that world. And then I got to do a bunch of different filming with a bunch of really cool people. And I had my own Sustainable Earth Network channel on YouTube, and we did a lot of filming with that as well. So we're building that brand, which is really good. And I've still got that. So Sustainable Earth Network, we film. We've got that on Instagram. We've got that on YouTube. And it's the 2 business partners who I was originally with have gone because they needed to make money over COVID. And YouTube doesn't make money until you're getting really famous, right?
You need lots of
traction.
engagement. Yeah, you need lots of traction.
Unlike America, and I'm not sure about the UK, but definitely America, we don't make money off TikTok and
This
Instagram
is
and
just
stuff,
sad,
right?
Yeah, you don't.
So we don't get money off hits, whereas they do over there. So it wasn't going to work for us here either, even though we were getting great traction.
Yep.
So anyway, so we've still got Sustainable Earth Network. I do a bunch of great work with beautiful people. I'm working very heavily into the sustainability, climate change, climate justice, plant-based or like horticultural, future of food is plants.
Yep.
That drive is where I'm at. So a lot of people who leave MasterChef don't have a direction, and I think that's where they really struggle. So that's why they slowly sort of just go by the wayside and go back to their original work job or whatever it could be. But people like, you know, some people have like, this is my direction, this is where I'm going to go, I'm going to make it happen. I don't have children. I've got a mortgage now, but, you know, I only had to pay rent. There was no major expenses on my part, so I could really focus on it. And if I was running out of money, I could do some shifts at a bar, but
Yep.
it never had that problem.
Yeah.
So post MasterChef, and I'm still going, right? And people I talk to people, because I get in contact with every single season, people who are going on there. I do a masterclass usually at the hotel, but also I just give them a lot of help and feedback and whatever they need to do after the show, because they're really lost. People get lost. You have this huge platform, and then all of a sudden, what do I do with it?
It's normal people going on such a big thing.
Yeah.
You were a person who's comfortable on camera, and that was your goal. But lots of people are just normal day job, working.
What do they
any
charge afterwards? Who do they go in touch with? What should they do? What direction should they go? So it's like that would be my counselling for them after they finish MasterChef. And a lot of people are like, you know, I talk to some of them now from a year ago, and they're like, oh, I'm just trying to get a normality and trying to find my direction. I was like, mate, I've been out 5 years. I still haven't got a direction. I know my path, but that constantly has jagged edges, which I have to follow, or I have to try to follow. And if it doesn't work, then I go back to where I was. Or if I realize I shouldn't be there, I go back to where I am now. So I know which way I want to go. I know the direction, but you go where people take you as well. So there's a little bit of a play around there, and there's never consistency.
Yes,
so if you want to try and get consistent, good luck. Even Poe and all the people in the judges and Andy, there's no consistency. Now they have it's not 8 months anymore. I think it's only 4 months of filming. They have 4 months of filming.
Yeah.
That's consistent. Yeah. But post that,
you don't know where life is going to take you, what's going to happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
And your agents will help you out, hopefully, if you've got one. And if you don't have one, then you've got to hustle.
Yeah.
And hustle. And it's hard. It's hard work. It's not easy.
Is it because, okay, I know we're totally deviating from the topic, but I have this question. Is it because Australia is such a market, or it's just a general thing?
Australia is such a market.
Like, Australia's a very niche market in everything where you're going to see. Like, I've seen a lot of these people, they travel overseas, and that's why they get gigs, be it like Audrey is now the judge for MasterChef Singapore.
Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah, and then, you didn't know that?
Maybe I did. I do know Audrey is, I think so. Is it her first year or no? She's done it before.
I'm not sure when she did it and how long.
Yeah, good. She's amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing. Then even you went to India, then Sarah Toad. She's doing gigs in India.
Crazy famous in India.
Yeah, she's crazy famous. And then even all the 3 judges, Matt, Carey and George, they're super famous. I know lots of people do travel to Sri Lanka, wherever the heritage is, they end up going there.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, India is a really big drawing card for a lot of us because it's so loved over there.
Yeah.
India is hugely loved in the world of MasterChef. So that sort of thing is great. And India has a lot of money, right? It has a lot and it has a little. Depending where you are, we won't go into that. It's way too political. But they want us to come over, which is really great. But at the same time, like Australia has money, and there is money in Australia, but there's nowhere near as much, for example, as there would be in the US or in the UK because of the population, right?
Yeah.
And we're also super divided, like as in physically divided, like we're physically spread.
True.
And so the finances you get from all that sort of stuff isn't as strong as you would be if you were overseas.
Yes,
know?
true.
So, and I also think for me, the idea of traveling is fun. Like I
Yeah.
want to go overseas. I want to see things. I want to experience the world, and being able to do that and get paid,
Yeah.
glorious, right? Like
That's
I don't
the
want
dream.
I don't want to save up for a year, spend the money on the holiday, and be like, damn it, there goes all that money. It was a great time,
Yeah.
but we got no money left. So
Yeah. Does your partner also go with you when you're traveling?
she does, yeah. I mean, not all the time. I try, especially in the early days when COVID was going on, or like post COVID. She was a yoga teacher then. Oh, she still is a yoga teacher. Sorry, but I would always get her to come along. So, for example, I booked to go back to India, and then I booked her to come along with me for the last couple of weeks, or last week, so she could experience India and go up north and to the sort of like the founding areas of yoga.
Yeah.
And then everywhere I go, so I was in Adelaide, she'd come for the last couple of days. So I would go for the workplace, and then I'd get the people who are doing the contract with me to pay for my flight 2 days later.
Got it.
I'd
Makes
pay for a
sense.
hotel for 2 more days, and
Yeah.
George will come and stay with us, and I'll buy her a flight down, or she'll pay for a flight down. you know?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I wanted to be everywhere I am. I love it. I love it. I mean, of course I love her. She's the most beautiful human being in the world, both internally and externally. She is extremely intelligent, and I am in awe of her brilliance. So wanting her next to me just seems normal.
So
you know?
sweet.
Yeah. She's amazing. So
Anyway, getting back to your cooking.
Sorry, yeah.
No, that's fine. You've made plant-based cooking like a movement, I would say that.
Yeah.
How have people taken that,
Yeah, amazingly. I mean, I think you've touched a lot of people, as in like with your cooking, not physically, it's a bit weird. You think you've reached out to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then you go on social media and people have never heard of you. You're like, damn it, like I'm obviously not hitting the right people. And at the moment, my engagement for my social media is just plummeting. Like it's so bad, which is fine. That's just
I
what
thought it'd be
happens.
good.
I wish it was, but I haven't posted over December, January, and February.
Okay.
We have all of the things. We have my birthday, then we have Christmas, then we have every other person in my family's birthday
When's your
over
birthday?
January, November. And I just got lazy. So it's been a bit of a drag, and it's also quite monotonous. It's not necessarily the most fun thing to do.
It's ask me about it.
I mean, you know it, right?
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll have content for you. Post it.
Great.
Yes.
If you've got an editor that can edit my stuff as well, so I don't know how to do it.
You don't have to edit anything. So
What about my cooking at home? Can I send it to someone to... I just need someone to... Anyone out there, if you could edit...
give it to me. We have editors.
Yeah, you have editors?
Yeah,
Great, I'll
don't
pay
worry.
them.
Yeah.
Happy to pay them. It just means
Yeah.
I can cook and I can give all the shit stuff that I don't want to do to them.
I know the editing is, people think it's just cutting it and putting it together. No, it's you film for like half an hour and make it into 1 minute, and it also needs to make sense.
Yeah.
Ask me about it. Yeah. Don't worry, reach out to me. We'll have a chat. We can have a chat. about
Great
it.
news. This could be my new change. And I want to go bigger. So I want to go bigger towards the social media, towards the YouTube side of stuff again, and make bigger, longer format stuff. And there's a big show that I've been working on called, I won't tell you, but it's really representing at the moment Victorian sort of country.
Okay.
Celebrating everything to do with that. Not only just food, but also the excitement of everything that's around it, and the people that get involved, and the people that create community. And then there's a big feast at the end of it. It's a real good time.
Oh,
Real good
I look
time.
forward to it.
Well, hopefully it works. We'll see. There's a
Yeah.
lot of things, like you find yourself doing 10 things, and maybe one will happen.
Yeah, true.
And that's only maybe. So then
Yeah.
you'll have to, if none of them happen, then you have to go on to another 10 things. And that's literally how this works.
Yeah,
so
true.
I can't remember what the question was, but that's the answer.
I was like, it's fine. I just asked you what, you started this plant-based movement and how people,
That's right. I
respond
started
to
talking
it.
about something completely
Yeah.
different. It's so classically me. I just start going on a tangent and forget what the question was. I wanted to go further. Like, I really want to be the Jamie Oliver of the plant-based world.
Oh, wow.
I'm not plant-based. I want to be the Jamie Oliver of the vegetables. Like, I just want to be the butcher of vegetables.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
And that sounded kind of
Yeah, I was
awesome.
like, butcher vegetables.
Like I want to be the chef of veggies. I want to represent them so much more. Like big hugs of everyone, teaching everyone, take me with you, let me show you how it's done, because we should be celebrating it. And if I can get you to have half the amount of meat you normally have on your dinner plate because the vegetables are so good, then I'm winning.
Yeah,
It's
for
this
sure.
idea of being like, you have to be vegan. That is it. There's no other choice. It's not possible.
Yeah.
It's not possible. Try to tell people from Southeast Asia who live there, who grew up there, who love the cuisine, who that's their hometown, they come to Australia, you can't have fish sauce. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic.
Yeah, true. It's like telling different. Yeah, you have
Yeah.
those few things.
Yeah.
Like beef is so heavily eaten
Australia,
in
yeah,
Australia.
absolutely.
And then you're like, no beef, only veggies, and they're like, are you crazy?
Yeah, that's right. Forever as well.
Yeah, forever.
But the thing is, if you do that to someone as well, you're like, okay, well, you can't eat meat for 3 days, then they're just going to consume all of the meat on the 4th day.
Yes.
And they're just going to play catch up because they're craving it.
Yeah.
But if you can cut them down to a half serving,
Yeah.
then they're getting their fixation, plus they're getting more veggie because you're filling your plates up with a wholesome whole grain, whatever it could be.
Yeah.
And in fairness, that's going to be the end result is that's actually healthier for you.
Yeah.
So
true.
not only are you eating vegetables, you're saving the climate, you're helping the climate justice things, blah, 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 animal welfare side of things, great. And also it's more healthy for you.
Yeah. I see off lately in Australia, lots of places are like vegan or vegan friendly or lots more vegan options. Before, one option used to be vegan, but now there's like the options are growing.
Yeah.
Do you think, the plant-based scene in Australia is changing? What's your take on it?
I mean, it is changing. I really think, in fairness, it should stop talking about it being vegan and just start celebrating the fact that it's vegetables. It should be irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is the problem I think we see a lot of times now. It's like everything has to be called vegan for it to be accessible.
Yeah.
For those, and then in fairness, what should happen is it should still be really, really good food.
Yes.
And you should be absolutely, if you're smart about the world, especially with the cost of living, is that vegetables should be the driving force anyway.
Yeah,
that's
that's cheap.
right?
Yeah.
So you go to restaurants and they should have a bunch of good, and in fairness, a lot of the times in the old days when I was eating meat, you'd have the vegetables with the tastier things anyway. But I think a lot of the times restaurants should be focusing on vegetables and they should be focusing on making those amazing. And whether they have to use like a sauce based around eggs, like an emulsified dressing or whatever, and it uses an egg, or it might use some stock or whatever, like meat stock. Fine, at least it's really minimalizing it and it's using a whole ingredient.
Yeah.
So
True.
I love the movement. The thing is about that, the vegan word, it's like they're becoming less and less. So it's 10% are dropping in the world of vegan products.
Okay.
And vegan brands are dropping off the face of the earth now at the moment because no one's buying it, and because they have 1% or 10% of the population. You have to fact check that one, but
Okay.
it's a very small amount. So try to make money as a vegan brand to only sell to vegans.
Yes.
It's you're already losing really, unless you're the best, which is great, and that's what you should try to be. But selling your product because it's really good, like for example, cashew cheese or plant-based or vegan cheeses, right? Yes, okay, you can argue that they shouldn't be called cheese. That's fine, whatever. That's irrelevant for this conversation. The conversation is that should be on every cheese board.
True.
Why not? It tastes epically good. Is it cheese? Doesn't matter. Is it delicious? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's break the divide. And if we break the divide, then we can actually start to have everyone playing a part.
Yes.
And that will naturally drop the meat consumption.
Makes sense. Yeah, true. I completely agree. Like, if it's the branding, the marketing needs to change and the branding needs to change. Probably people who are not vegan should also be able to consume the plant-based products at the end. It's a plant-based product at the end of the day.
What does it matter?
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Reach into a bag of bloody cashews and macadamias and whatever and eat those.
Yeah.
They're just solidified. This is not.
One thing I'd say contrary is people are like plant-based diets, they lack protein.
Not true.
Not true?
Not true. No. This protein conversation is just been like it's so common.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't got enough protein. And I don't deny that as you get older in your 60s and 70s and 80s, like more protein is beneficial for sure.
Okay.
How that is consumed, I can't. I'm not a scientist, so I can't throw that out there. But food scientist. But what people don't understand is how much protein is in vegetables anyway. So if you're looking at things like tofu, you're looking at things like chickpeas, you're looking at soybeans, you're looking at a bunch of different vegetables that have little portions of protein as well. We don't need as much protein as everyone thinks we do. It's like, oh, you're not getting enough protein. What are you going to eat? 7 chicken breasts to get enough protein?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You just need, I don't know, X amount of grams.
Yes.
It's not that much. Chuck in 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds, which has a 32% protein per 100 gram, huge protein hit. Chuck in some pumpkin seeds. They have a huge protein hit, start grilling some tofu instead of whatever else you want to do. And if you don't like tofu, then make hummus with chickpeas, which is full of protein, and put hummus in your bloody falafel bowl.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, true.
It's just, this protein conversation is really just, and I'm going to go on a limb and say this is probably wrong, but I'm going to throw it out there because stuff it. Why not? I'm here and I'm on a roll. Is it like it's branding for the meat industry to stop people to get people to eat more meat?
Yeah, true.
It
does happen. Like, you need to brand it, or otherwise the meat consumption goes down. But
it's wild. It's just an education thing.
It is an educational thing. Do you think this is one of the biggest misconception of plant-based things?
Absolutely.
Protein.
B12s, plant proteins, all of those sorts of vitamin-based things. The problem is as well, oh my God, I'm going to keep going. The problem is, I'm sorry if everyone's bored, just hold on tight. No. Because of farming and heavy-based factory farming and monocropping, we're actually losing the nutritional value on our vegetables as well.
Yeah, true.
And I don't know the facts and figures, I don't know the numbers. Check out Matthew Evans, Soil. It's a great book. Matthew Evans is from Tassie. He's a brilliant human being. He's a writer and he's a farmer, and he used to be a food critic in Melbourne or Sydney. I can't think Melbourne. He has soil, he has milk. I think he's got meat. I'm not sure. I can't remember if he's got meat or not. But there's 3 books there, super factual.
Okay.
And the loss in our soil, the degradation of our soil, the lack of nutrients going into our plants because of that, and our factory levels. And don't get me wrong, factory farming of meat is atrocious, and so is mass production of meat is atrocious. But the same thing happens in vegetables, and it's just as awful because they spray the grass, kills the soil, kills everything, and you've got this monocrop that's tearing living nutrients out of the earth. So no one's winning.
Yeah, true. It's equally bad. Like, I remember my grandparents say this, is that the vegetables and the spices are not as good as that they used to be during that time.
And they would know.
Yeah.
Your grandparents would 100% know that there's a difference in that sort of thing and what their flavours used to taste like,
Yeah, true.
And they would get their fruit and veg from their friend down the road or whatever it was, and they just go and pick it themselves.
Yeah, it was fresher, more pure.
Yeah. And if you think about spices as well, and now we're right in the area that I love to talk about because you can tell me it's going on and on. But, spices majority of spices you get from supermarkets and in major places, all get put into one big factory from around the world, right?
Yep.
And that factory could be in South Africa, it could be in Africa somewhere else, it could be somewhere in India, it could be anywhere. But it's usually one big or a couple or a few big factories.
Yep.
And there could be farms from Europe, they could be getting coriander seeds or juniper seeds or coriander seeds from somewhere in Eastern Europe. They could be getting coriander seeds from India, and they could be getting cumin from here and there, and they all get put into one thing. So there's no label, right? There's no where it's coming from. And then they send it into packets to Coles, Woolworths, and all the other big shops, right?
Yes, true.
And I worked at an amazing place called Joshkin. It's a restaurant over in Balaclava called Tulum. Amazing restaurant,
I've heard
Turkish,
of it,
right?
yes.
Oh gosh, if you want them good food, go there. And he talks about in Australia when they use spices, they double the amount of spices they use because compared to Turkish spices or Indian spice, or when we can get it from somewhere close, the flavour is powerful and punchy. In Australia, it's dry and old and woody,
yes.
So he says that, and I believe it. I really believe it, because if you think about it. And if anyone wants to go into business with me out there, I've got a new idea. It's called single origin spices.
Yeah.
So holding accountable to the producers and buying them straight from the farm and sending the money straight to the farm. Like coffee, like chocolate, like tea. Everyone's doing it. But no one's ever touched single origin spices.
Oh, wow. That's a great idea. Anyone DM him if you want to get into the business.
That's right. If you've got money too.
Yeah.
Like pepper, like Indian pepper. Holy Lord, it's the best.
Yes.
But where does your pepper come from in the pepper grinder? No one knows.
Yeah, true.
Your
very
cumin
true.
seeds, your asafoetida, it's fine. That's definitely very Indian, very much its own thing. But all that sort of stuff.
I completely agree. Like, you might also know this because you travel so much. Like, if you go to Asia, or you might have a pho in Vietnam or something, and you have the same thing, the flavors differ. Like, you're like, wow, this is the real thing, which I've missed out all my life.
Yeah.
And every food that you go and have it in the origin, the spices and the flavors, that's what, when you come to Australia, you're like, there's something missing.
Yeah.
And then people say there's lack of, like, Western places don't have the flavors, but it's I don't know. It's the
quality,
spice.
it's the freshness of the spice. I agree. And I also think that sometimes when I'm at home and I'm making Indian cuisine, I'd like to believe, sorry to all Indian mums out there, but and grandmothers and Indian cooks out there, that I like to believe I know a little bit about Indian spice and Indian cuisine and Indian food, right? Like I've cooked it often enough.
Yeah.
But it never tastes the same as when I'm in India, or for example, if someone from India's house.
Yes.
And maybe it's because I've got too dry spices and I buy too much and it's sitting in there for too long, and there's that sort of touch. But I agree. Like, I think for some reason here, it's just a little dry. It's just a little lackluster.
It is. And the worst part is, I can never get spices back from India to here.
Legally, really?
Yeah, you're not allowed to get.
Are you not?
No, you can get like packed one, depends on what it is, but like
not,
the fresh, like all these things which
not the
I
ones
see.
piled up in the side streets, right?
No, all those are not
bright
allowed.
yellow turmeric, which is so amazing.
You get like I'll get not deported, but they'll like seize it.
And or charge you thousands and thousands of dollars to get them sprayed, which you're not going to want to do anyway.
Exactly, I'm not going to sell them. It's just for my house.
Let
me just take them.
Well, there's a lot more reason to it, but yes, I know what you're saying.
I know there's a lot more reason.
Don't go sprinkling it into the gardens of other people's farms. You're in trouble then.
I know. I just want my home spices to be there. Like, this is a very cheeky thing that I do, but when I come from India, I love the Maccas in India. But
Yeah, right.
I love the aloo tikki burger. So that's a potato burger,
Yeah.
veggie burger. I'm not vegetarian, but that's one burger which I miss from India.
Yum.
So I buy 3-4 of them.
Yeah.
And then I bring them.
Do you really?
I really bring
You
them.
still eat them when you get back? 20 hours later.
I wait for like every day
my God, you're
in the
wild.
fridge, and I'm like each day. But also another reason why I bring it is because my mom makes aloo parathas.
Oh, yeah.
Aloo parathas, just for reference, is like naan bread filled with potato filling, like easier, like.
So good.
So I don't want their attention to go in those aloo parathas. So I'm like, in case they want to take anything from customers' work, these parathas are mine.
You cannot take an Indian person away from their parathas or away from their breads, right?
Yes.
Like, it's just so important.
Anyway, I'm gonna like end this really soon.
Yes.
My last question.
Okay.
Is what's next for you? And you know, where can people follow you?
So follow me on Simon Toohey and Sustainable Earth Network. There's 2 there. Well, Sustainable Earth Network is all about climate change and positive climate news.
Okay, I'm
my
gonna
own
put the
personal
links.
stuff. My own personal Simon Toohey is just all my food and me yelling at camera. Basically what I've done here for the last hour with you.
Yeah.
There's a few big projects in the works. One is a cookbook, which is really great.
Okay.
So
amazing.
we're just holding on tight for a little couple of signatures to go into it, and that should be out at the end of 2026. But it's a long time. But that's
Yep.
cool. Cookbook, all about flavors and vegetables and fire. And
Oh, wow.
like fire cooking and vegetables and greatness.
Okay.
We're trying to open up. Hold on one thing. I'm trying to open up Geelong, where I'm from. Its first permanent market. So think about a South Melbourne market.
Oh,
Or a Queen
lovely.
Vic market, or an Adelaide Central market, but in
Yep.
Geelong. I mean, we've got the fastest growing city in Australia. The average age is, like the median age is between 25 and 45, so it's a really young city. It's obsessed with food, and it is the food hub. Like, it's the food bowl of Victoria, I really think, because we have
Okay.
the best lobsters in Australia up there. We have the best mussels from Port Arlington. We have beautiful seafood running through the bass, like snapper and whiting. We
Yep.
have amazing vegetables and small farm plots. We have beautiful farmers and farm areas as well.
Yep.
So that's our drive, is to open this thing with restaurants around the outside. Like, think of South Melbourne Market,
Yep.
but in Geelong.
Oh,
So that's our
that'd be
goal,
lovely.
and supporting the local producers. So Geelong and the Bellarine region, and 100 Ks is sort of like the hyper-locality of it
Yeah.
all. The show that we're working on, hopefully, is going to come out YouTube style. We'll work on that.
I'll add the links.
Yeah,
in the
please
bio.
do. Yeah,
Yep,
I mean,
done.
the YouTube stuff is a bit dead at the moment, but we'll get there.
It's fine.
And then
They
a
can
lot of-
subscribe till the time and
Yeah,
they wait.
yeah. Subscribe for that one time when I post something up in a few years' time. No, it'll be soon, I promise.
Yes.
That's kind of it. There's a lot of, and then a
That
lot
is
of,
a lot. That's not
Yeah.
kind of it. That is a lot, Simon.
Yeah, I mean, you say it, like, when you say it, it sounds like a lot, but in 365 days, there's a lot of empty space. But, you know, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. It gets filled up with contracts like Hemp Foods Australia, I work really closely with and love. Like, Hemp Australia is just some of the best things for those who want to get some protein in their body and want to go down that sort of more vegetable side of things.
Yep.
Hemp is an amazing ingredient.
Okay.
So, you can get them at the supermarkets, just a handful of hemp seeds in your salads, on your ice cream, on your burger buns, like all this sort of stuff. It's just so
And
much
great
stuff.
protein.
Great protein, and then in milkshakes or your protein shakes or whatever it's
Yeah.
going to be, so you can get both. But yeah, so contracts with different beautiful brands is
Okay.
kind of the next thing.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
hopefully.
it's been lovely talking. One last bit is that we
Yes.
have is the rapid fire round.
Oh yeah, go.
Which is going to be super rapid. And if you give me some nice answers, you have a hamper with the box of Anchor cookies and some chai from Dropout Chai.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna get this right.
Okay, let me just put this properly.
Wait, they're not right or wrong. It's just good answers.
Yeah, I need to be spicy and good enough. Those
Oh,
my
God.
questions are really easy.
Okay.
Quick,
Let's
rapid
go.
fire. Okay, tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Okay. Season 11 or season
Tea.
12?
12. It depends who I talk to. Dilma, tea, 100%. Coffee every morning. Tea in the afternoon.
Season 11 or
11.
season 12? Season 11. Okay. Gary, George, or Matt? Who's your favorite chef?
Gary.
Okay.
Oh no, Matt.
You
Oh,
name me
George.
one.
Okay, Matt. Matt, because we've gone out for drinks before, and he's the only one out of them, and he's gone out for bedding with me. So Matt.
Okay, Matt it is. A cooking trend you hate.
Oh my god, scraping the knife over bread or things that are obviously crispy. It's like they toast shit or they deep fry something. You're like, oh look, it's crispy. You're like, I know it's crispy. I can see it, you idiot. And the other one is when they break the egg, like the egg yolk.
Yeah.
It's like, mate, I can tell. They squeeze a thing. It's like you just burst the egg. I hate it when they cut the egg open. It dries. You're like, well, look, it's runny. Of course it is. I can see it. Sorry, go on.
That's fine.
You tell I hate that one the most as well.
I can sense it. What's the most overrated plant-based ingredient?
Nutritional yeast. Oh, I don't know I said that.
If you could cook with only 3 ingredients for your life, what would it be?
Is salt an ingredient or is that just a seasoning?
That's just seasoning.
Okay, garlic, tomatoes, and wheat.
And wheat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, rice, tomato, rice, tomato, white rice, right? Tomatoes, garlic, like what rice wheat combo.
Okay, fine. I'll give it to
Can
you.
we cut it in half and just put them together?
I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Love or hate Gordon Ramsay?
Love.
Love, yeah.
Love, because he's such a kind human being. He actually is nothing like he is on his shows. It's just for money, right? And
Yeah.
when you meet him in person, he's a beautiful... I met him just recently at an event, and he is such a kind person.
Yeah.
Has time for everyone. Anyway.
He seems like a gentle dude, but
Gentle.
obviously that it's what you know what
TV.
you watch sells.
It's American TV as well.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Last question.
Yes.
Who's more intimidating, MasterChef judges or your wife?
Judges.
Okay.
My wife is phenomenal. She's kind, she's soft-hearted, she's... Yeah, you cannot fault that person. So judges, for sure.
Okay. Well,
We have a wonderful, beautiful symbiotic relationship. Very accommodating, very beautiful. So
sounds very
definitely the
sweet.
judges.
Oh, that was lovely. I think you deserve this help.
Yay!
Yes, Simon.
Gimme.
Yes. Anyway, thank you so much, Simon, for being in Australia Unfiltered.
Thanks, mate.
Yes.
Oh!
You get your own tote bag. I don't know. This is you're a tall guy. Will this tote bag fit you?
It will fit me perfectly.
If not, your wife can wear it.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. Where's she gonna? Yeah, that's true. I love it. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries at all. Hope you guys had fun and don't forget to subscribe. We'll be there next week as well.